Photographers of Reddit, what is the most outrageous photo shoot request you have received from an Instagram influencer? Wedding photographer here, they said they were influencers with a great following that they'd promote me to, but when I asked for their handle online, silence. I get this as a lot as I'm fairly well known, so an easy target when people look. Exposure? People die from exposure. That last line, best line I've ever fucking heard. My best friend and also my brother are photographers. Okay Mr. Influencer, I'll give you a code. Post it on your social media sites. For every 10 people who book me to shoot their wedding and use that code, I will return $100 of what I charged you up to the total amount of the final bill. Great idea. Been a wedding photographer for 12 years. I routinely get asked to do entire weddings for free. Not even always from Instagram influencers. One time this guy, whom I didn't even like that much, asked me to do a wedding for free for his friend. Someone I didn't even know existed at all until this interaction. I just imagine walking into a restaurant and asking for the absolute best meal they have for $0 and then telling them it will be good for their business to do so. DJ. Same thing. Band. Same thing. Want these sounds for free? Spend 25 years playing instruments. Influencers weren't what they are now back when this happened, but there was this flamboyant musician client I had that wanted to generate a buzz. I was pretty early in my career, so it didn't sound crazy at the time. But he hired me to follow him around a local outdoor shopping mall, pretending to be paparazzi. It was actually kinda fun shouting fake interview questions at him while he ignored me. Lots of people fell for it and followed us around. Looking back on it, it was the dumbest gig I've ever had. Sounds funny and seems harmless honestly. Rumors have been swirling that you wear depends, care to confirm. Honestly, this sounds like a blast and something I'd do for free. I had a client ask me to Photoshop his head onto another guy's body because he liked the shirt the other guy was wearing more than his own. I actually did it because it was hilarious and he paid me for it. Artists gotta eat too. Damn right. This is hilarious. Do you have any other Photoshop stories? This gives me an idea. I wonder if I could pick an influencer and just Photoshop my face onto every single thing they post. And post it too. I was selling an old camera on eBay, maybe $50, and someone asked me to send it to him for free so he could review it on his YouTube channel. I'm not the manufacturer of this second-hand camera, just an art student trying to make some money, so I don't know how he thought reviewing my old camera was of any benefit to me. And then it turned out he only had 10 subscribers, so I really don't know what he thought he was doing. You have 10 subscribers, but start your email off with "Hi, I'm name better known as channel name." Somehow have avoided this with my actual photography work, but I still laugh about eBay guy. 10 people follow his channel, but only 3 people know who he is. Himself and his parents. So he wasn't wrong. Had someone asked for me to do a videography shoot of their new house being built. They said $200, but they wanted me to go each weekend for 2 years and shoot it to build up a time lapse and stuff. I definitively said no. What nerve of them. For that tiny amount of money. A bald guy asked me to Photoshop veins in his head to make his head look like a giant penis. He was some kind of businessman who was selling an audiobook. Dickhead move. This man always thinks with his penis. I got asked if I had any duct tape because she wanted her boobs to push up into her dress. She then proceeded to strip completely down to just high heels and wanted me to go in the other room so she could take selfies with my remote control. I'm not leaving you alone with 10K worth of lenses. And that's when you learn to always carry duct tape with you. Never know what kind of influencer emergency might come up. Cop. Sir, what's this duct tape for? You. It's used on girls before I take pictures of them. Had someone ask me to do more than a week of videography for them and create a promo video for $200. Not a day. For the whole week. Assuming 8 hours a day, 5 business days, that would come out to $5 an hour. Jesus Christ, that's less than minimum wage. The entitlement of some people. When I said no, they said they had tons of people that would do it for free. Then I politely told them to go with the free one that definitely exists. It's so funny or awkward when they act like they have better options and they're doing you some kind of favor. Those influencers have very little return on investment. Remember that one girl with 2.6 million plus followers who was unable to sell 36 t-shirts at like $20 each and was crying how no one cares. She needed to cross that 36 t-shirt mark to get endorsed. Cause her followers are all fake or inactive, and it's IG most cases aren't like that. Content creators with 500k YT subs can make decent money from merch if it's good, cause a content creator's personality is more relatable for audiences on YT. Influencer asked me to shoot, and before I even had the chance to give her my prices, she decided to give me hers, over $300 for me to shoot with her for 30 minutes. One of her main selling points was she could teach me how to leverage and grow my social media. Girl was 15. Edit to clarify. She was asking me to pay her $300 plus when in reality at a minimum, she should be paying me. I don't even charge that much, haha. In fairness, I can kind of see how this entitlement develops. Random fashion companies offer modeling opportunities to girls as young as 14 just because they have 3K followers and post bikini pics, and that combined with general teenage dumbassery leads to a massively inflated ego. As a photo assistant in Chicago, I had a friend tell me there was a popular New York photographer looking for an assistant on Instagram for a shoot in Chicago. I inquired with the gentleman, and he said he only had a day rate of $150. On top of that, he said the day would be a 14-hour day, and he asked me to pick up his equipment rental, which included a 12-foot sweep, and store it at my place to be ready for the shoot the next day. Hell no, $150 for 17 hours worth of work? IDC which photographer you are. Pay your assistants correctly. Typo. Pay not lay. $150 for 17 hours. Bet that's an older guy who used to get $150 per day assisting 25 years ago like me. The value of $150 25 years ago is over $100 more than it is today. Had a girl contact me to do a suicide girl's photo shoot. I gave her my rates and she got back with, "Oh, I don't have that much. Isn't it enough that you'd see my tits?" Tits? Whoop-de-fucking do. Are they made out of money? What's the monetary value of silicone? Edit. TIL silicone and silicone are two completely different things. Depends on how much voltage it can handle. Beet poop. Some influencer that was promoting betanin in beets as healthy diet. She want me to take images of the colored change poop. But this is actually normal in those that can't process the betanin. That week, my DSLR was dropped hard, and now I am without it. It was a bad week. The strangest thing to me about this is not the fact that she wanted pictures of the poop, but that she wanted someone else to take the pictures. Yuck. Also, sorry about your DSLR. I didn't know I liked beets until a few years ago, so up until then I had never really had beets before. Imagine my surprise when I had my 2-beet morning movement. I was pretty sure that I had developed both a UTI and late-stage colon cancer overnight. I freaked out for a bit until I put it together, but oddly, I had no desire to immortalize this moment via social media. I had that moment in an airport bathroom just as I was about to board an hours-long flight. I was terrified for a few minutes, and then I went, "Oh, I had beets for dinner last night. Whew." But for those few minutes I really thought I was going to die. Had an influencer try to set up a shoot with me. When I mentioned my price, she was shocked because she was under the assumption that I was going to pay her for some reason. I work at a hotel and it's unfucking believable how many of these dipshits want to stay for free in exchange for a post. Our marketing research shows they have almost zero ROI. Ask them to pay full price, but that you'll give them discount vouchers for their followers to redeem at your hotel, and they will be reimbursed based on the number of vouchers redeemed. Easy to tell and control your ROI there. This person influences. A few years back I was in Acadia National Park and we did the Beehive Trail hike. For those unfamiliar, it's basically as close to rock climbing as you can get non-harnessed, as you are going straight up a cliff on iron rungs and stuff, so super fun, and you are rewarded with an amazing view at the top. Most people take a quick snap there at the lip, as most do at the peak of their hike, and then move on to the more rocky area, but less a nice view, to rest. Anyway, while we were there resting, 2 Instagram girls got to the top and promptly took over the best view of the lip to take various yoga poses. Because that was totally a natural thing to do after scrambling up a cliff. For at least 10 minutes families were coming up asking if they could take a picture, but they literally said we were here first and we'll be here while when asked if they were almost done. We ended up leaving before they were done, but it still boils my blood thinking about it. I would just photobomb all their pictures until they left. I can't stand people like that. Did this at Willis Tower in Chicago. We paid $20 to go on the ledge, and I will be damned if some Instagram models are going to take over a ledge for themselves. I felt similar when on vacation in Japan, especially Kyoto. The hike up Fushimi Inari is gorgeous, and everyone wants to get a photo of themselves under the gates without people in the background, which ends up blocking progress up the mountain. I give everyone in front of me the chance for a couple pics. It only took a few seconds each time. But anyone who tried to hog the path beyond that amount of time? I just continued on. It's possibly the most iconic tourist attraction in Japan. I'm not going to wait all day for a photo shoot to occur in front of me. The place is also really empty at 4 to 5 a.m., prime time for photo shoots because the sun is already up at that time, but that's too much work, of course. Saw something similar in Iceland. Couple stood front and center on a waterfall for 30 minutes whole. They tried to take the perfect photo of her jumping in front of it. Luckily I'd done taking photos attempting to actually be a photographer, but still boiled my piss. Another one was at the plane crash in Iceland that you're not supposed to climb on. 2 couples got there, straight up on the wings to take hundreds of photos of each other, blocking like 40 people's photos, even people that were there before, and then had the cheek to ask me to move out of their photos. I may have spent the next 20 minutes having too much fun photobombing all their pics. I was just in Iceland. In some of the more tourism-heavy areas, people were complete assholes. They'd walk over areas clearly marked "Do Not Cross" and destroying the fragile ecosystems. So selfish. Someone asked me to shoot her entire wedding, a full day, an engagement photo shoot underwater. I do underwater photography also, and some honeymoon shots somewhere. All for exposure. I straight up said no, politely, and she kicked off in a patronizing way asking me if she knew who she was and what it would do for my career. She had about 10k less followers than I did, and I don't even do weddings as I had pointed out, so it wasn't even in my best interest, even if she had millions of followers. Oh, and an influencer guy asked me to do a nude photo shoot for him for free. I declined but wished him luck. He then sent a dick pic. I reported him. The influencer with less influence than you that's rich. Yup. I don't understand. The dick pic made me chuckle, like what's the point of it? Once worked in a tech call center and a guy sent multiple shots of his naked body while holding a katana. If you're holding a katana you're not naked, you are being kept warm by your discipline in Bushido and wrapped by the honor of your ancestors. You have dishonored a warrior with your claims of nakedness. You hereby must take your Sunday paper and commit the Sudoku. We had an amazing wedding photographer. Flew from L to Las Vegas for engagement shoot, full wedding day with another photographer. All told it was more than any other expense, but was 1,000,000% worth it. She had worked at our venue before, so knew how to get awesome shots. Took a bit to get them back, but the editing was perfect. My wife is positively glowing, and I look less of an idiot than I usually do. Can't imagine the time she spent polishing all her albums. Our photos are amazing, it was a great experience. Edit. Here's her website. Wish I had thought of this early. You get what you pay for, and this is the day you want the best. Pay your fucking photographers. I was in New York once, and this girl should be in her 20s approached me and told me to take her photo. I thought it would be some general request. But still, to stand up to my pride, I lowered the camera to gain an architectural perspective. But then when I look at her, she was standing in middle of the road, one arm on a car that she must have stopped cause the traffic was ongoing, and the other holding a banner that said, "Life." To this day I had no idea what I just witnessed. She asked for $200 per hour with a 3-hour minimum, without any real prior modeling experience, and had conditions that the photos could not be posted anywhere, and that she was going to have them sold exclusively on her Patreon. So $600 for 3 hours work, is that too much? Too little? Generally, in my city, that would be a fair rate for an experienced model, but not the extra contingencies stating I can't use the photos. If a model wants full rights to the photos, she better be the one paying the photographer. Do you mind a male model that's overweight, short, and is more of a grower than a shower? Cause shit, I'd have that cost, and you can put those photos the fuck anywhere. If it helps, I have a majestic ponytail. I have a long gray-white beard, which naturally prompts a lot of jokes about looking like Santa Claus. We spent Christmas in Punta Cana this year, and I have this old Hawaiian shirt with reindeer and Christmas shit on it. So the afternoon of Christmas Day I went walking down the beach in my Christmas shirt and was instantly surrounded by all these girls in bikinis wanting to take a selfie with Santa Claus. I was game. Seemed like it was all in good fun, and if a bunch of giggling girls want to sit on my lap and take a picture, who am I to complain? But it got obnoxious really quickly. Each one of them wanted 20 shots from different angles, in different poses, with different backgrounds and different light angles. I couldn't figure out what was going on until one of them mentioned how popular this was going to be on Instagram, that she found out what Santa does to rest after Christmas Eve. After that it was just kind of irritating, so I refused to do any more photos unless a child asked, which just pissed the Instagram crowd off, which naturally made it even more irritating. I ended up avoiding the beach and pool area for the rest of the week. Edit. Recent photo for credibility. I do documentary film, and I had a non-film job in college, and I met this lady who was maybe 30, asked me to do an Instagram video like this, and she showed me a professional video shoot done with a green screen, lights and set. I told her I could probably get pretty close to quality with my university's equipment, but it would take time to get a crew together and reserve a studio. She told me no, that I should just record it with my phone. I told her that's not what they did for the Instagram video she just showed me, and she said, it's on Instagram, that means they recorded it with their phone. She dropped it after I mentioned I charge money and wouldn't just do it to be nice. She has like 10 followers and 3 of them were porn bots. Edit. I've had 3K karma for like 2 years. LMAO. Oh god, people actually think this? I do photography on the side since I'm mostly film and video. But I have a friend who has an Instagram account as a side business for fun. I told her I would do a photo shoot for her if she helped me with my resume and cover letter. Although she has tons of companies that give her products to review for free, the photo credit she gave me honestly didn't lead to any followers on my Instagram. So yeah, anyone who wants exposure for crazy work I don't think knows that they actually don't give any exposure. In my case I was the one who brought up the deal, and honestly I would have done it for free to get out of the house because she's my friend. But yeah, that photo credit doesn't do anything in my experience. Not a photographer, but one of my acquaintances is a semi-popular influencer. She spends way too much time to see authentic and down to earth. One time at a small party I did something funny that made a bunch of people laugh. Whatever it was wasn't caught on camera, and she forced me to recreate the moment so that she could film it for her Instagram stories. You're not having fun unless you can prove it to your thousands of followers apparently. Do that spontaneous thing again. Do it. Everyone needs to know how much fun we're having. BTW, there was a great Always Sunny where Dee was essentially trying to do this. Edit. Fellow Redditor pointed out the episode of Always Sunny was season 14 episode 7, The Gang Solves Global Warming. And thank you for the gold. I have a friend with a small YouTube channel and IG following. When she was in town to visit me after my first child was born, we were having dinner and she started the live stream right at the table. She never asked or announced it, just started talking to her phone as we were eating. Yes, why pay attention to your real friends when you can converse with total strangers? I assume you didn't tolerate that. I asked her to stop and she did. She and I definitely roll in different circles now because she didn't find it to be objectively rude. I paid my photographer for my album cover with cinnamon buns. He insisted that was the payment he wanted. So I've invented a new currency. Did it with the photo editor too, although it was a mix of money and cinnamon buns. Imagining a world in which we pay for everything with cinnamon buns. Economics would be pretty weird with people eating all of their money. And how would you pay for cinnamon buns? Photography. Haha, I love ridiculous requests because I do surrealist and neon stuff on my own time and really enjoy going for weird or unusual vibes. Probably the funniest was one girl who came to my house. I have a mini jungle to shoot with my plants, and we wrapped her up in vines, wrapped her guitar, stacked up plants behind her, and generally made it look like she was being enveloped by plants. Fun results, and really funny to shoot. I'm no model, but if I had to choose a way to be photographed, it would be in a sea of plants. I'd go with a sea of guinea pigs. 30 to 50 feral hogs.
Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Tell me what you dislike or love about this video, so please comment below and hit the bell icon so you're notified anytime a new video is released. This is a WeCrow Media production.